All right. Good morning, everyone. 10 o'clock on the dot here. Welcome to Fox 10 Talks. And we are so happy that you are here this morning. And I'm going to bring up this shot, and I think we have it. Ty's going to be joining us in just a few moments. We also have the beautiful Bella here with us on this Monday. How was your weekend?
Morning. It was good. It was recovering from a cold, but I'm doing okay.
Well, you don't look like it.
Thank you.
So that's the great news.
It.
Absolutely. We are going to jump right into it. Ron has the week off, so we have a lot of interesting stories here to share with you this morning, and he will be back, of course, a little bit, Monday. I was going to say a little bit later in the week or next week, but he's enjoying some well-deserved time off. Good morning to everyone. Linda Montorth, good morning. Chris, good morning to you, my friend. And Jared of Sonora. It's so nice to see so many of you on the stream. And I know, Bells, you share with them as well, kind of chatting, in the box as well.
Chatting in the chat. I'll do my best at it.
You're amazing.
Yes.
All right, let's get right to our first story this morning and share your thoughts on this story if you can. Buddha Sheep, good morning to you as well. Brandy the Bookworm. Okay, let's jump right into this story. We have the State of the State preview for the 2026 session, and this is going to be a very big day. We have a lot of our state's leaders returning to the state capitol. Many of them live, as you know, outside of the Phoenix metro area and some of our rural parts of our state and things like that. So it is the second session of the 57th Arizona legislature. It opens its second session today with a lot of major bills. We're talking about big bills that could have some big ramifications for us here in Arizona. And they're expected to be worked on during this next coming election year.
Yes, correct. So we do know, as mentioned, that opening day is today. It will begin at 11 a.m. The Eastern Arizona College Marching Band is going to be performing in the courtyard. So a very big, exciting celebration to kick off this session, but it will officially begin at noon, and at 2 p.m. we know that Governor Katie Hobbs will be delivering her 2026 State of the State address before a joint session in the House chamber. She is expected to set her agenda for the session. She's also expected to preview her budget proposal, which is expected to be unveiled later this week. Now, as you touched on, Celeste, a lot of big major bills are expected to be brought to the table during the session. More than 200 bills have already been reported to have been filed ahead of this session, plus nearly a dozen ballot measures, which would not require the governor's approval. This could go on the voters' ballot in November to decide whether or not they should become a law.
Yeah, this is a big deal here this morning. And Brandy the Bookworm, thank you so much. Good morning. We are so grateful for this amazing platform and this crew with all of you who are sharing part of your day with us. Thomas Brown, some of you are working and you're listening. Some of you are at home and you have it on in the background, or maybe you're cooking something up or setting that crock pot with some delicious maybe tomato soup or chicken tortilla soup. You can tell I'm hungry here this morning. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to make. But we're looking forward to seeing all of you here. So thank you for joining us. Little philosophy. Here is something big that is trending there at the state capitol. Let's read the education funding Prop 123 extension. This is one of the biggest situations that they're looking at. It's a big financial decision. It's the extension of Prop 123, which funnels state land trust revenue to public schools. There is a political standoff right now over whether the renewal should be tied to increased protections for the schools, state schools voucher program, the Empowerment Scholarship Account, which, Arizona has become a leader when it comes to school choice. And that private voucher system, has been very important to a lot of children and a lot of families, especially those with special needs. Something that will affect every single Arizonan is the issue of taxes, right? We all have, whether or not we like it or not. Welcome to the show, Ty Brennan.
Thank you. Good morning.
Here he is, my friend. I know we hustled over here, and we're so glad that we're here with so many of you. But here's the thing, with the tax season upon us, this is a central battleground here between the right and the left, Republicans and Democrats, and some, people that are a little bit more in the middle. The legislature now is grappling with how to align the state tax code with the new federal H.R. 1. So that's really the big, beautiful bill. That's really what it is. And so it includes higher deductions and the elimination of taxes on tips. Yeah. It was President Trump's effort, right, to kind of put more money in Americans' pocket. And so you have no tax on tips. And I believe what I read last week was for married couples, it was like an additional $1,500. For those filing single, it was an additional like $750 or $700.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we know that both parties are expected to push different affordability and healthcare issues too today. We are talking about the State of the State preview happening today. Yeah, I think that it's going to be very informative, exciting to see how this comes about.
Yeah.
I do know that we are going to be streaming this later today at 2 p.m. So I will have further coverage on that. So after people are on Fox 10 Talks today, they can stream into that this afternoon.
And you can see more of beautiful Bells.
Yes.
Yeah, and her curls. And her hair beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go to our poll question this morning because it has to do with what we're dealing with it's not up yet. Here, let's go here.
It will be up soon.
It will be up very soon. Here, we'll do the YouTube poll right now since we've got that up right now. We'll go back to the other one in just a quick moment. Linda Monter says, good morning, Ty.
Oh, good morning.
A. Marino, good morning to you, my friend. And we're so glad that many of Be Kind Forever is here as well. And Husky Mom 25, good morning. So we are, it's great to see you guys in the chat. If you're new, then pop on in. It is National Glazed Donut Day. Linda Monter says, I love cherry apple blueberry fritters. Let us know what I know we're big foodies.
Big foodies.
Yeah, so share your favorite donuts.
Something excited about today, Ty. I think this is your and I's first time at the desk together in a very, very long time.
We've had you come over and chit chat with us, but it is so it's nice to hang out.
So what happened? What happened? Did they didn't let you back?
It was fighting.
It was like Housewives. Who threw the table?
She did. She did it first.
No, I love that. Little Philosophy even pointed out. He said, this feels like a first time seeing Ty and Bella on the same screen.
Oh,
So
that's
really
great.
Nice.
It is good. No fighting. No fighting.
No, of course not.
This is a circle of trust.
This is a safe space.
Something that Governor Hobbs is also running for re-election. We've had a number of different people running for office. For David Schweikert, who is CD1, he's running for office for governor on the Republican ticket. And so you have a whole list of different people who want to run for that seat. And so we're having a number of different people on later on this morning in the 10 o'clock hour that will share their thoughts and their why they think they should be the leader in CD1 next, replace that seat. Okay, let's see if the poll question is up now. Nope, let's go to the YouTube. We'll go to, okay. Thank you, Big D. All right, let's do the YouTube. On the day of Governor Hobbs' State of the State address, how do you think the governor is doing?
All right, so we've got 39% of you right now saying, great, I support her work and will back her re-election bid. 8% of you say fine, but she must work more with AZ House and Senate Republicans. 53% of you say bad. I'm excited to vote her out and elect a Republican this year.
Okay.
That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah. Big D, have you had time, Dave, to look through some of the comments? Yeah, sure. Okay, wonderful. And we always like to show... Oh, there's Steph.
Oh,
Hi, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, no.
She does not like that.
Did you see how fast she went off that camera? All right, I'm going to go back to... Oh, there you are. Hey,
it's on me.
smiling
And here's
face.
Anita. We usually have a Bella bomb, but now we've got an Anita bomb.
Anita bomb.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's fun.
An A bomb.
Anita will be up at 11 a.m. She's got some fun guests planned. But a lot of comments already on this poll question. We love hearing from you guys. Brad Meisingberg says, Governor Hobbs has not worked with the state Congress. She is trying to be in the destructive governors group in California, Illinois, and New York. She refuses to do what is best for all Arizonans. And then Frost Free 7 disagrees, saying she's accomplishing for the people of Arizona. A lot of good comments. Keep them up, guys. We love hearing what you think about politics here in Arizona and across the country.
Awesome. Dave, nice work. We got to bring him in like in the first 10 minutes or else we have protests out in the street.
The views drop.
There is another look at that poll, and I believe we have a link to it at the top of our chat as well. And you can click on that, and you can vote, and you can even share your comments. So we so appreciate that. Let's talk about this issue that we're experiencing right now. And this has a lot to do with the ICE situation, that some of the deportations that are happening, and specifically with the mother, Renee Good, who was killed in Minneapolis.
Yeah. this was kind of reached a fever pitch over the weekend with a lot of protests out in the streets. A lot of folks unhappy with ICE coming into their neighborhoods, doing these deportations. And we've seen these kind of clashes before, but we haven't, thankfully, seen them turn deadly. But that's exactly what happened last week. And I think we have some video of some of the protests that have been happening because it was last Wednesday because of that the shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by ICE agents in Minneapolis continues to spark protests. So this was the scene on Wednesday, and you can see that there was some protests that were happening, and that's exactly what happened and led up to the shooting of Renee Good. But now we're starting to see these protests across the country and right here in Arizona. So this is a look at some of the protests that were happening over the weekend. And correct me if I'm wrong, Celeste, I believe this was the one that was happening in Mesa. Yes.
So let's take a listen to some of the sound that we have for you this morning. So that was one of the women out there. I don't know why we don't have the audio, but here's another.
To do an event like this for a while, just because ICE has been hitting this area of Mesa really hard. And this just mass mobilization gave us a chance to really just mobilize a lot of people and have a big impact with this event.
Most important because people are probably sitting at home thinking that this matters, but they don't know how to connect with other people, or maybe they have some energy or some frustration they just don't know how to apply in a really positive, constructive way, and we can give them that.
So there's another look there at what's happening in Mesa. Interesting to note, too, Fox News put up on their Instagram page over the weekend, there's a new video that one of the ICE agents was shooting as they were chatting with Renee Good.
I believe it was released from the White House.
It was, yeah. And Fox News had it on, they had posted on their Fox News account. So what happens is that you have the vehicle and you have the ICE agent kind of pull over the camera as Renee Good is being spoken to by an ICE agent saying, you know, let's pull over. And then she doesn't want to and takes off, and you see the actual collision. And then behind the scenes, you can hear the gunfire. Mm-hmm. And they had released that video because the big question was, what are we not seeing?
Mm-hmm. And from that vantage point, it was a little difficult because the camera does go up.
Yes.
So you can't tell from that vantage point because a lot of people were saying she was trying to hit him. Others were saying, no, you can clearly see that her wheels were turned and she's trying to get away. Yeah. So I think everybody's just kind of trying to figure out exactly what happened. Yeah. And in that one video, I think they were trying to shed some more light about exactly what happened, but you could hear the actual conversation of, we got to hit a break.
We do.
But we'll hit a break and we'll have much more.
Let's take a look at the mystery camera here. And this is a shot of some special city around the nation. And more on your mystery camera. Share your thoughts in our poll this morning. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is your mystery camera this morning. And so we have a New Mexico from B. Miguel. We have a Colorado from Lil Philosophy. What are your thoughts, Ty?
I was going to go New Mexico, too. The architecture leads me to believe it's a little southwest-ish, so I'm going to have to go with everybody that we're saying the New Mexico area.
And there's a little snow on the ground. We did RV up to Lake Powell. One summer during COVID, and the campground kind of looked a little like this. So I think what's Utah? It would be Utah, right? Utah, with maybe Antelope Canyon or something like up on Lake Powell somewhere. So I'm going to go with Utah.
Okay.
Just because for giggles.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we get to open it up.
All right.
And you guys had some good guesses out there. Okay. Oklahoma, says Louis Gonzalez.
All right. You ready? Here it comes.
Hold on one second. Let me throw your image up.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Here, let's go back to it. What a pretty shot that is.
That is.
They have a bureau for Albuquerque. I had a friend, an investigative producer that I worked at a different station, and he was a photographer too. And he worked and lived in Santa Fe, and he loved it.
Anybody who's like, I've got some friends that are from Santa Fe, and they're like, it is one of the coolest places. I've yet to be gone, so I need to go.
I know. Me too. We should go
trip.
road trip. Zip
Sounds like
trip.
a plan.
Yeah.
I love it.
Maybe we take the show live there. We always say that. We have a list
of long places where we want to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We have a really interesting story coming up this morning. We have Stephanie Bertini. She's with us this morning. Let's go right to the story, and we're going to bring her in. Nurses in New York City are striking over stalled contract negotiations. And this is, Dave, do you want to do, are we doing the phone, or is it on Zoom or ENG?
Yeah, it should be. It's ENG24.
Okay, Steph, can you go ahead and bring her in? Stephanie, can you hear us okay? Okay, I think she's having trouble hearing us. Let's go ahead and bring her on this. Stephanie, can you hear me okay?
I got you guys.
Oh, perfect. Okay, share with us a little bit. What is happening there in New York City?
So I got to tell you, I'm having issues hearing you. That's why I'm on the phone right now. This is a massive strike, what the Nurses Union is calling the largest strike in New York City history. I want to give you a look at the picket line here. We are at New York Presbyterian Hospital. It's located in Manhattan. It's one of several hospitals. You're looking at the picket line. We've been here all morning. We saw the New York City mayor and other community leaders come out to support the nurses on strike. We're hearing that the Nurses Union and hospitals, they were, at the bargaining table throughout the evening. They haven't been able to reach a deal. Now, there's been a lot of lead up to this. Of course, locally, we've been covering the lead up to this. Hospitals, like, for example, here, New York Presbyterian hospitals are still open. And so we know that traveling nurses are being used as well. In addition to traveling nurses, we're hearing that patients, if they arrive at hospitals where nurses are on strike, those patients are being sent to other hospitals.
Can you give us just like a little idea, Stephanie, how long do these protests, or do they expect to be out there?
So that's the big question right now. As you can appreciate, a lot of people locally want to know how long this is going to go on. And when you hear, that if you show up at a merge that you were going to be asked, I talked to a source, a medical professional who works inside one of the hospitals where nurses are on strike in New York City right now. And I was told they're asking, do you want to be transferred somewhere else? When you hear that as somebody who lives and works in New York City, of course, it's going to trigger concern. Like, what happens if I have an emergency? What happens if one of my family members has an emergency? The hospitals have said, and we've been talking to the hospitals from different hospital systems, because this is massive. This is affecting several hospitals. And we've heard, look, we want to reach a deal. However, the Nurses Union has said that there's several issues. Issues include pay, health benefits, and working conditions, among other things.
I think you bring up an interesting part, are some of the traveling nurses issue. How does that conflict with what maybe some of the nurses are dealing with, who actually, this is their home state, their home hospital, their home clinic?
So, when you're dealing with labor disputes, you see this, right? I mean, anytime you have nurses crossing the picket line, workers crossing the picket line, I mean, that's how those who are striking are perceiving it, and they're not happy about it, of course. On the flip side, you have the hospitals saying, look, we need to be able to take care of people. I mean, we're talking about a very, very significant strike, and, it's not unusual when there are labor disputes to see the use of outsourced workers. This is not something uncommon. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're reporting. According to a source I spoke to, when it comes to pay, so again, this is someone who works in the hospital, I'm being told, nurses are asking for increases, and the increases could put them making more than what some doctors are making. I mean, this is what we're hearing. Again, the information is all coming in. Now, I did speak to nurses on the picket line specifically about one thing. Do you feel bad being out here knowing that there's people in these hospitals that need you, the patients, right, when it comes down to patient care? Several nurses did tell me, I don't want to be out here. We're upset that it got to this, but here we are. The strike started at 6 this morning.
Yeah. And I know I hate to put you on the spot like this, but can you even just estimate how many folks are out there? Because we were looking at your video and then just the amount of people behind you. I mean, it's a huge crowd.
Look, we're giving you a wide look right now. I'm going to have my photographer kind of pan because it's really, really an overwhelming image. I mean, we cannot show you through television or through a digital screen what we are seeing. I got to tell you, when I got here to New York Presbyterian this morning on assignment, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of people out here, a sea of nurses and their supporters. And this is just one of several picket lines across New York City. We're hearing over 15,000 nurses are on strike. So just think about that number and then double that number down. I mean, people are coming with their supporters to the picket line. We don't know how long this will go. It is startling when you see just seas and seas of nurses outside when we all know that where we want nurses and medical professionals is inside hospitals, inside the medical offices where they're supposed to be working. So very concerning and very startling images when you see the numbers.
And I think you can see a lot of the people there in the streets holding these signs saying, stop threatening teachers. One of the situations involves, workplace violence protections. Stephanie, my sister is a nurse, and she has shared with me situations that have happened here in the emergency room in Phoenix in terms of some violent situations. What is happening there in these New York City hospitals in terms of violence, and how do we need to protect our nurses? How do we need to protect our nurses?
It is interesting because we are hearing nurses say that they're working in unsafe conditions. Now, I mean, I guess you can apply that concern to many professions, right? So we have to hear what they're saying, of course, and there is concern. But then on the flip side of it, there's people that are saying, look, your job is to take care of sick people, so that's what you're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of emotions and there's a lot of people weighing in on this. What I can tell you, though, is that Mayor Mamdani, New York City's new mayor, and other leaders are supporting these nurses. I mean, that's what we heard at the picket line today. Of course, there's going to be different sides, like any major issues. This is a controversial issue. But we have heard the nurses say, look, we did not want it to come to this, but between unsafe conditions, pay, health benefits is another thing that they keep talking about. So basically what they're saying is, like, we could not continue to work without a contract. The contract expired December 31st, and we couldn't continue to work under these conditions. We've heard that again and again and again. And you can see intermittently here along the picket line, there are, vehicles driving by. There are supporters driving by. Horns are honked. The crowd kind of gets a little louder. It's quite cold out here. As you can imagine, the weather is another factor, but they're out here and they are in full force.
Well, Stephanie, we really appreciate your time and perspective live from New York City this morning. We do appreciate it, Steph.
Yeah, I'm going to get back here on camera and just tell you, you can kind of understand the fact that I need to be talking to you guys there anchoring through the phone because just the audio, we've had cell interruptions. It's a very massive scene, and we're doing what we can to cover it. But again, the numbers leave an impression when you hear 15,000 nurses. And again, this is just one of several hospitals. So that's where we're at here. I'm going to continue covering this throughout the day, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. We so appreciate it. You did an amazing job, and we hope to see you again soon on some of your other stories you're covering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what an interesting image there, right? As you could see, it was, what's happening in here?
There was a mosquito. I apologize. I don't want to get butt bit.
I don't want to get butt bit either. That would be painful.
Oh, goodness. Whenever we work together, sometimes we get on these,
We do. We get on
Giggle.
these, tangents, and next thing you know, it's like our minds are unraveling, and I don't even know where this will go.
Nobody does.
But that's the fun part, right? That's the fun part.
We keep it fun, don't we?
We do. We do have another interesting guest to bring on for you this morning, and I threw this in the chat as well. Here's the thing. We have an expert from Bankrate, and he's going to share a little bit on credit cards, credit card statements, the hope that interest rates will drop even more.
Yeah, and there's some new research that's coming out that's saying that more people are taking on debt, much more than just last year. So his name is Ted Rossman. We have to take a quick break here. Well, do we have time to introduce him?
We have a minute left.
We can intro him real quick before we have to take a quick
Ted.
break.
Let me go to the Zoom.
We do have another interesting
Zoom. There we go.
bring on for you this morning, and I threw this.
Oh, we're hearing our voice ourselves in our ears right now. Hi, Ted. How are you? Good morning.
Doing well. Good to be here. Thank you.
Nice to see you. We just have about 30 seconds. Thank you for hanging with us. We had some of that breaking news there in New York City. Share with us kind of, what your background is.
I cover personal finance, including credit cards for Bankrate. We try to help people better manage their money. Credit card debt is a big part of the struggle for a lot of households. We see about half of cardholders carrying it. The average interest rate is around 20%. Most people who have credit card debt have had it at least a year. This is really an important financial challenge and priority for a lot of households.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people are struggling with that right now, and just putting food on the table. They might be depending on those cards day in and day out. We're going to take a quick break. Ted, thank you for hanging with us, and we'll chat with you more here in just 2 minutes, my friend.
Don't leave.
Later, Gator. After a while, Crocodile. All right, welcome back, everyone. Beautiful shot there, Grand Canyon Conservancy, and it is a bluebird day in our higher elevations.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's there at the South Rim. Let's jump right back into it with Ted Rossman from Bankrate. Ted, thank you for hanging with us, my friend. Good morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, so we were kind of talking a little bit about just how much credit card debt, how much individuals here in America have when it comes to credit card debt. And the number's quite shocking. 61% of credit card debtors say they have been in debt for the last year. That's up from 53% back in 2024. Is there any way to figure out why that is?
Credit card debt usually has a practical cause. There's this incorrect stigma out there that, oh, you must have been irresponsible, right? You overspent on vacation or on a shopping spree. No, what usually gets people into credit card debt is one of two things: emergency expenses and day-to-day expenses. The biggest cause is an emergency expense, an unexpected medical bill or home repair or car repair. In second place would be day-to-day expenses, things like gas and groceries outpacing your paycheck. That's been all too common the last few years as we've dealt with higher prices and higher interest rates.
You know, I think one of the scary things, the headline said long-term credit card debt is on the rise. 61% with credit card debt have had it for at least a year. What is the beginning of trying to see this number drop? I know that we've been in this credit card type, situation in America for many decades, but as individuals, what can we do to limit that?
There are some things you can do. You can sign up for a 0% balance transfer card. You can move your existing high-cost debt over to this new card that won't charge interest for up to 24 months in some cases. The U.S. Bank Shield Visa is a good example. So the average credit card charges 20%, but that one will let you skip interest for 2 years. You could work with a reputable nonprofit credit counselor like Money Management International. They can bring your rate down. The president has proposed a temporary 10% credit card rate cap that would last a year. I actually believe there are a lot of unintended consequences with that. Not that I want people to be in credit card debt, but that would be a pretty dramatic intervention. Banks say that they would have to stop offering credit cards to a lot of people if that was the most they could charge. So really, it's sort of a catch-22. You don't want to be in debt, but you also need the access to credit. I fear that this rate cap proposal could actually backfire and have unintended consequences.
So what are some of, I guess maybe some tips, tricks? We had a financial expert on not too long ago, and he was talking about planning for those emergencies. And I guess maybe that's where we should tell people maybe to start as far as they're covered in case there is some sort of life emergency, be it medical or some sort of house repair, something like that you mentioned.
Yes, emergency expenses and credit card debt are kind of two sides of the same coin. No shame, right? We know life's expensive. We know in an ideal world, everybody would have lots of savings and nobody would have credit card debt. But we also know that's not realistic. But it is linked just in the sense that there's all those stats out there about something like 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved for an emergency. Well, what are you going to do the next time the air conditioner breaks or the fridge is on the fritz or you need a new car repair or something like that? That's when people load up the credit card, and then it just becomes a tough cycle to break. The average credit card debt load is $6,500, according to TransUnion. You pay minimum payments at 20%, you're in debt for 18 years, and you pay more than $9,000 in interest, and it's just an ugly scenario. So that does bring me back to a few things. Saving, if you can, even if it's bits and pieces, even if it's that first $500 or that first $1,000, save money from every paycheck, that's going to help. Some of those other tactics, getting a 0% balance transfer card, avoiding interest for 2 years, you could pay less than $300 a month for 2 years to knock out that average debt load interest-free. That's a lot better than 18 years in debt at a very high interest rate. Groups like Money Management International can negotiate lower rates and maybe get you into a plan that's 7% interest over 5 years. These are some of the ways we can take matters into our own hands. I do fear that the government intervention idea could backfire, but there are some things that you can do to make debt payoff a priority and get to be in a place where you're using cards for rewards and convenience rather than carrying interest.
Just one last question for you. when you're sitting someone down, because you said you worked in personal finance, what's the first thing you have them do when they're taking a look at their budget? Or, I mean, nobody likes the B word here. And there's many bad B words out there, by the way, Ted. We don't like any of them. But budget is one of them. And here's the thing. I think that people get intimidated. I know I am. You're intimidated when you think about a budget. Oh, my gosh, I have to cut this out. I have to cut that out. And so how do you just give us like a starting point, if you can, in about 30 seconds?
We did a study recently, and we found that people would rather talk about almost anything else rather than credit card debt. So they'd rather talk about politics and religion and their weight and all these potentially hot button issues. They'd rather talk about that than credit card debt. You do need to be honest with yourself and your spouse, though, about where your money is going. Take the shame out of it. A lot of people have credit card debt for very practical reasons, but you've got to attack it. You can't just make minimum payments for decades and expect to get out ahead. You really need to make it a priority, get the balance transfer card, work with the reputable nonprofit, cut your expenses, take on a side hustle, do what you need to do to bring that debt load down.
All right, side hustle it is. Ty, what's your side hustle?
Foot pics.
I thought he was going to, on OnlyFans. Ted, I'm so sorry. It's incredibly inappropriate.
They're never going to let me back, Ted.
And Good to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bankrate. Ted's like, bye. We do have a viewer that sends us in emails, and he's like, why did you cut off Anita and Syleste heels?
Oh, well.
They work hard on this. And I do. He's like, your pedicure. And actually, here's a money tip. I don't go for pedicures anywhere. I do my own.
There you go.
It's too
Save
pricey.
Budget right there, right?
Yeah, I do them myself because it gets pricey. And I have a little foot bath because it doesn't cost me anything. All right, we do have a special guest moving on here this morning. And we have we know that, of course, Schweikert has now moved on from CD1. He says, I want to run for governor. And so there's a lot of people who now are running for that CD1 seat, Congressional District 1. And this morning we have our first Republican running this morning.
Yeah, we have John Trobough joining us in studio this morning. John, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, guys.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I guess let's start at the very beginning. Why are you throwing your hat in this ring? Why do you want to represent CD1?
Yeah, I get asked that question all the time, and it's really quite simple. I got into this, quite frankly, just because of my kids, my family. I look at it and say, I'm in a position and have enough knowledge and have spent time in D.C. and worked in certain industries that I see what's happening going over the next 10, 15 years. I'm like, no, I'm jumping in to do something for my kids, my family, and other families. It's really that simple.
It's interesting. We were just chatting with you in one of the breaks, and I think you have a really interesting perspective maybe on government, because you were sharing that your father was in the CIA. I said, where are you from? You're like, I'm kind of from all over the place because you moved around a lot. When you think back, it's kind of like, were you made to do something in public service when you think about it, when you look back at maybe growing up and how you'd like to see things change in government or in life or in our communities?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've spent a lot of time around the world, have a very global perspective on what's happening around the world. I've been in Arizona for quite some time. Family goes back, a very large family here. But I've also served as well. I was a White House presidential fellow, and I worked with the National Security Council on national security issues, in particular China and the race that we're in with China. So I look at it and say, when it comes to Arizona, we're ground zero for the next generation economy. We're also ground zero for the race with China. And I don't think people fully understand that. And so I'm like, I need to jump in this race, help educate folks, help our district. And I figure one way or another, we're all going to be better off. So I jumped in the race.
John, can we circle back to something you said at the very beginning? You said you saw some things that you didn't like, and that's why you got into this. What are some of those specifically? What are those things that you didn't like?
Yeah, I don't think there's a good understanding with some of with what I was seeing and where things were shaping up, understanding of what the future of Arizona's economy is going to look like over the next 10, 15 years. I think we're at such a unique inflection point that we have an opportunity to shape our economy into the future and really be such we're already a critical part of what's going to happen over the next 50 years in this country. I mean, you just look at what's happening with all the CHIPS Act and all the manufacturing we're doing here. We have to continually drive that. And I think Arizona is the epicenter for what the next generation economy is going to look like for the nation.
When we talk about affordability and inflation, that is obviously something I think that American families, specifically here in Arizona, we think about. I mean, putting food on the table, how high is gas prices, interest rates. We just spoke with someone from Bankrate as well. And what are your thoughts on that topic? And what are some of your ideas, I guess, on how to make that better for Arizonans?
Yeah, well, affordability is one I think we all feel. I mean, it's great that the stock market's doing wonderful and our 401ks look great. But that's not hitting my savings account.
Yeah. Day to day, right?
Day to day. How do I live my life day to day? And it was interesting. I was listening to the gentleman before. He was talking about, even a cap on interest rates because so many Americans have had to run up their credit cards just to pay groceries because of the cost of food. We have got to address, our debt issues, right? Because our debt issues drive also what are the interest rates that we're able to offer to consumers. And we need to get the housing market moving again. We can get the housing market moving again. We see jobs growing. And here in Arizona specifically, we've seen great appreciation in our homes over the last number of years. But it's only realized if we're able to unlock it. And we're only able to unlock it if rates come down so people start buying houses again. Yeah. And we're able to create more jobs so there are more people who can afford those homes as well. So I think it's, there's things that the president are doing, in the short term. We just heard about a potential 10%, cap on interest, credit card debt. That would be hugely helpful to Americans. But I think, it's one we're going to continually keep chipping away at.
We've got about a minute left. Just kind of bottom line, why do you want to get into politics? I mean, it's so much mudslinging. Right now, it's so contentious on both sides of the aisle. Why do you want to do this?
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the mudslinging. I've had an opportunity to talk with the other candidates who live in the district, and I've told them in no uncertain terms that, look, let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about what's best for Arizona, right? We're all Republicans. We're all part of the same family. Let's talk about how we, our differences of opinion and let the voters decide. The mudslinging, I'm not interested in the mudslinging. I look at it as like things break down in the mudslinging when you have nothing to say. Yeah. And so I've got something to say. So let's talk about it and tell me why I'm wrong or why you disagree.
How can people find you or follow your efforts and your running for office?
Yeah, please hit up our website, trobough4az.com. You can learn all about my background. We'd love to have you sign our petition or come help us. I'm a big believer in Arizona and what the future opportunity looks like for us, and we're going to go make that happen in DC.
It's amazing. You're very brave. People who run for office, I think, are very brave these days. Politics has always kind of been a bit of a nasty business, but I feel like these days with social media, you never know what's going to turn up. So kudos to you. Good luck. And thank you for joining us here this morning. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We'll be watching you over the next couple of weeks.
Here is another live look and months. And beautiful shot here. We don't know where this is, but take a guess and maybe we'll find out. There's some pine trees there, Ty. Pine trees. All right, welcome back, everyone. We usually don't do a twofer, but today this is Mount Wilson, California. So if you happen to say, hey, where is this? Beautiful shot there in the Golden State. And it doesn't look like it's very windy because those pine trees are not moving.
Unless the shot is frozen. I don't know.
Don't move. Do not move. We have a very interesting guest here this morning. We want to make sure that we set this up for you first, though. Here's the deal. Matt Balthazar, he is kind of like TikTok famous. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and show you a little bit of that video. Here's VO of Matt on TikTok. Oh, is that your wife? She's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And I think your kids kind of bowed out. They're like, Dad, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I have 3 teenagers at home, so I know exactly what's happening. Yeah. And so he is famous on TikTok. Let's roll this soundbite, give you a little bit of a piece of one of his videos.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here at Mallard's, just trying out some of this food. We'll get back to you guys. Anything? No. Hey, what's up, guys? We're at wow. What's up? I gotta tell all my followers. Hey, what's up, guys? We're here at Sendix, running my boy Sam, just getting some milk. Sweet. Say hi to all my followers. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up?
This is so amazing. Is your wife like, hey, what? She's like, I know I'm famous because you're doing this. What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt. So how did this whole idea begin?
Yeah, it's funny because, I travel a lot with my daughters for basketball, and I saw this influencer in Chicago kind of do this somewhat of a trend. And I was like, I'll just kind of start this thing and see where it goes. And I did a few videos just to my family, just as a joke to my daughters, and they're just mortified by it. And I just posted them on Facebook, and some of my friends would see it. And I had a cousin down in Florida say, these are hilarious. You need to put this on TikTok and you'll go famous. And I'm like, I don't even have TikTok. I've never even gone on it. I'm not going to do it. Next morning I woke up. I was like, why not? So I woke up, posted a few of the videos that I had on there, and 10, 100 views, nothing crazy. And I went to a restaurant. I said, oh, I'll just do another video. I posted it, and it just took off. It went viral.
What restaurant was it?
It was
it here in Arizona?
No, it wasn't. I'm actually from Wisconsin, but I'm down here in Arizona a lot. So I've done a lot of videos down in Arizona.
So your family's in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. And you travel here for work. Local Optics?
Local Optics, a software marketing firm.
And that's your main gig?
Yeah, that's my main gig. So the company is based here in Arizona. And so I come down here a lot. My family comes down here a lot. We love Arizona. And I've done a lot of videos down at restaurants here in Arizona. And it just kind of took off. This momentum just kind of took off. And people started calling me at the time I said UNC. I was like, UNC, what's UNC?
Yeah.
And my daughter's laughing at me saying, Dad, they're calling you Unc. Like, you're old. You're trying to be cool.
It was
right?
almost like
I didn't know that
Remember
either.
Boomer, when Boomer was big?
I'm learning a lot of trends.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, Chopped and other things like that.
Oh, yeah, he's Chopped. Or a baddie.
Yeah.
What is Chopped?
Chopped is you're not looking good.
Yeah. And a baddie is when you're hot. Like, I travel with my daughters for soccer, and like all the girls are like, oh man, I just saw a baddie in the restaurant. Like, that's like when you see a baddie, it's they're like super hot.
Yeah. I mean, some of my middle daughter will say something. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. And my other daughter's like, yeah, it does. And then she'll have to explain exactly what it means. But yeah, so it just kind of took off, and it found momentum. And now it's a way for me to just kind of laugh and have fun and communicate with my daughters, right? That's the biggest thing.
What was that like? I mean, I always think it's so interesting to talk to people kind of when they start to get a little bit of traction. What was it like when you started to see those views start to pile up on TikTok?
I can see how it can be something where you get hooked into it.
Yeah.
Right? Because this literally just took off in August.
Huh.
Do you get paid?
I do.
Yeah, you get paid.
Well, I don't get paid, but I have found a way to monetize. I'm not going to get on TikTok and do dances and stuff like that. Yeah. That's just, I have a little bit of street cred that I want to try to keep. And so there's definitely income coming in, but nothing to support a family or anything to that.
You know, it's one of the most hilarious things is your wife, you like catch her out. It's like, you know why I think that people love about it? You catch them by surprise.
Yeah. I'm not the star. It's my wife and my
their
kids.
reactions to doing it.
Yeah.
But you also kind of have to, I guess, disassociate. So you're not embarrassed when you do these in these situations because you're really kind of trying to get their reaction to you being the quote unquote influencer.
That's, it's funny because when I first started it was nothing. I was just putting a camera up and just kind of just saying something. And now it's gotten to the point where I feel like every few days I have to do something.
I was going to say.
Right? You have to keep the momentum going. And then on top of that, you want it to be authentic.
Yeah.
Right? And so now there's a lot of pressure. I got to get it right on the first time. And it's got to be something where it catches them off guard. Right? Because if you do it a second or third time, it's not as funny. It's not as funny.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you have certain locations? We saw a couple of the locations. It looks like restaurants, maybe places where you're not supposed to be kind of loud and boisterous. But
anywhere in public, right? I mean, you just want to be confident, loud, and embarrass them.
There you go.
Right?
You know, I think you touched on something too. I think that's really important, I think, for parents of teenagers is connecting with them.
Yeah.
How has, you mentioned this earlier, how has that really helped you connect with your teenagers?
It has. I mean, trust me, there's some days where they don't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Right? I did one where I went into the student section at a football game with my daughter there. And that was, well, first of all, that was really intense because I didn't know if all the students were going to throw stuff at me, right? But she didn't talk to me for 24 hours after that, but it was great content.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there's a connection there because I'm learning some of the lingo that they talk. Their friend. I'll tell you, like the first month of doing this, some of her friends that I really didn't have any interaction with, now they're talking to me, right? Because your dad's an influencer,
cool.
right? I want to get on your videos. And it's not hard for me to find some of their friends that would love to be on videos.
And I think you learning their lingo, I think is like half of understanding who they are and what they're doing and what they're talking about when they're talking to their friends. Yeah. Like we eavesdrop. As parents, I'm like, what's going on over there? But if you can understand the words that they're using, it's like half the battle.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now I'm understanding that stuff and I'm sitting there, I'm finding myself flipping on TikTok and I don't follow my daughters. I follow very few people, but they are now coming up. There's some of their videos are coming up on my TikTok pages, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what you're doing, right? So we've definitely, I'll say, connected. We've bonded, and there'll be some days where there's like, Dad, I'm done with it. Yeah. My wife is like, this has got to come to an end at some point, right? I'm like, oh, we're just getting started, right? I mean, let's see where this thing can go.
What do your bosses think about this?
They don't know. Now they do.
Did anybody like coincidentally like find you by accident on TikTok, or you popped up on their algorithm?
Like, hey, I think I know this guy.
That is happening a lot. So I was actually I did an early retirement. And then I just actually went back to work. Oh, so I'm actually.
You're young to retire.
I know. Lucky. I was lucky, but it's not as fun
when
as.
When are we going to lunch? He's picking up the tab tie. He's picking up the tie.
Trust me, it's not as fun. The first few months are fun, but then you're like, I got to do something. Yeah. I got to do something, right? So I came back on board. I'm CEO of Local Optics, so I am kind of the boss.
So you can travel back.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're the boss.
But we're gonna leverage this TikTok thing into some Local Optics stuff. So you'll see, hey, what's up, guy, on Local Optics. But I will say, I've traveled for work. I've been at trade shows, and people come up and like, I know that face. Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're the TikTok guy. I love you, man. I love it when people love me, right?
Yeah. Well, have you ever met anybody who didn't? Probably not.
Just my daughter sometimes.
What is your handle?
Yeah, people are asking what your handle is so they can find you.
Just search up, hey, what's up, guy?
Oh, hey, what's up, guy?
I mean, it's funny because I started this and I was like, I got to start TikTok. So I asked my daughters to help me. They're like, not helping you at all, right? We want nothing to do with this. I was like, well, what can I put down? Yeah. And I just said, Mom, I always start with, hey, what's up, guys? So hey, what's up, guys? That's what I did.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, are you constantly kind of thinking of like, what could be good content? Where could I film this? So, this content?
A lot of it is spur of the moment. And, if it's at a restaurant, there's a 50-50 chance I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And,
but your family never knows.
No,
you kind of do it to surprise them.
I definitely do surprise them. I've had a lot of restaurants reach out to me and said, "Hey, we'd pick up the tab. Will you come do a video just as give local support to whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a free meal."
Yeah.
And trust me, with a family, it can add up.
They eat a lot.
I'm making like 3 pounds of meat every night at my house, like 3 pounds of ground beef. Like if you can get a free meal out of it.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Take what you can get. So anywhere in public, I do a lot of restaurants, and it's funny because some people are like, "Gosh, this guy has no budget when it comes to a meal for taking his family out all the time." But they really don't know when I'm going to do one. They always want to go back to a restaurant we already went to because they're like, all right, there's no chance he's going to do it
again
back there. Yeah. But what they don't know is, and I don't know if they're watching, but I can go bigger and better at the same
That's
restaurant.
a threat.
Yeah,
I like
no
it.
kidding. Okay, so you have plans for the future for more TikTok videos. This is something that you really could carry on. Like
that's what I was going to ask.
Like for years, really. I mean, TikTok's not going away.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. The Jonas Brothers, Joe Jonas, did a video after me, and I don't know where it can go. I'm always like, maybe this is the end, and then another video will go viral. I'm like, I guess not. So
keep going.
Just live that 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you'll be doing it with your grandkids.
Oh, yeah. Let's pause that, right?
We've got about a minute left, but I kind of wanted to ask kind of the same line of questioning here. Do you ever kind of like, oh, what have I gotten myself into now? Because now people, I guess, like your content. They want that content, but you got to keep it up.
I do. I get a lot of people reaching out, a lot of boys reaching out, asking for my daughter's TikTok.
Then wow.
Yeah.
And what do you say?
I don't respond to a lot of them.
Block.
Yeah.
Did your daughter ever like, Dad, let me see who he is?
Trust me, as much as they, tell me like they don't like and stuff like that, they're looking at the comments all the time.
And they're looking at, she's pretty, or she's a baddie.
Yeah, she's a baddie. As long as they're not saying chopped.
Yeah, as long as she's not chopped, we're good.
Delete.
Yes. So, but what have I got myself into? That's probably, my wife's like, I don't want everybody knowing where we live and all this stuff. It's
privacy.
It's completely new. Like up until August, like this wasn't a thing, and now I am going out in public more in Wisconsin. It's starting to happen a little bit in Phoenix because I'm doing more stuff here. But definitely in Wisconsin, I'm getting people taking pictures of me and asking to do videos, and people
that's cool.
We've got some pretty high-end steak shops here in town.
Yeah, maybe if Durant's wants to
partner up. Matt, we appreciate your time this morning.
So nice
Thank you so
meet
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
we're going to give you a follow on the TikTok.
Yes,
TikTok
please do.
machine.
On the TikTok. Yeah. Safe travels back home, my friend. Thank you so much. Here is a beautiful shot here of California once again, and 11 a.m. Anita will join Ty here, and we appreciate you joining us. See you later. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
All right, welcome on in. We're going to keep things rolling here. Fox 10 Talks
You
now
tired?
at 11. No, I'm having fun. Keep it going.
All right. So we've got a ton to talk about today. Good, bad, ugly, fun.
Yeah,
laugh,
all of the above,
all
right?
of that. We're going to start with an interesting story that we had. This is back in November, and this was a really big story that broke, and our reporter Kenzie Beach, who we've had on several times on the stream, was talking about it. But, we all feel like we can be susceptible to scams.
Yes, and they're getting so crafty.
So this particular one, these scammers, we'll call them that, were trying to sell a house that didn't belong to them. Can you even imagine?
Well, I don't even know how they would
I don't
do
either.
that.
So we're going to roll Kenzie's piece to give you guys a background of exactly what happened, and then we'll get to our interview.
Two Valley women were giving potential buyers access to this home that they didn't even own. They were able to give them the codes after they changed the locks. Now, it's a scheme that typically targets seniors and snowbirds, people who have paid off their homes.
We have a limited window because in the next 48 hours, these people are expecting a large six-figure check and deposit from me.
Valley real estate investor John Rowan was approached to buy this home. When it got down to the paperwork, Rowan noticed immediate red flags on the deed. It seemed the whole thing had been filled out by the same person.
The sort of key letters in his area of script matched the main letters in the notary's script, and that should never be the case.
Rowan tracked down the real homeowner while maintaining contact with the fraudulent sellers, bringing the whole thing to Scottsdale PD.
I have never seen and been a part of something that was so obvious, and for me, not letting this go was important because I felt like we could stop it.
Rachel Cassette and Leslie Greer have been charged for carrying out a fraud scheme. Police say they targeted an elderly Scottsdale gentleman who had owned the home for 30 years and recently moved out.
These title fraud people, they target homes that are paid off and potentially unoccupied.
Rachel Cassette had codes for the lockbox and access to the home, but when Rowan tried to verify ownership, the fake sellers couldn't answer for it.
For one, this was a $10 transfer in a house in Scottsdale that's worth, significantly more than that. So that was another strange event. The names didn't match with the inherited person. So it's like, and I did ask, how were you related to this person? And they avoided that. They would never answer that question.
They wanted $400,000 cash within 48 hours. Rowan accepted the offer, and with Scottsdale police detectives surrounding the building, Rachel Cassette and Leslie Greer were arrested. Every county in the state of Arizona has a free alert system that homeowners can sign up for. Now, it'll send you an email, give you an alert anytime a document is recorded regarding your property. In Scottsdale, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Okay, this is wild, right?
So we have Mr. Rowan here with us this morning. He was the one that you just saw in the story. I guess I'm flabbergasted that
It leaves you speechless.
how someone was able to do this. So we listened to a little bit in Kenzie's story, but in kind of a simpler, I guess, vein here, how did they get away with this, or how did they even start the process of doing this?
Yeah. So it's amazing what people can do now with artificial intelligence, with AI. So what these people had done is, and they were successful before, this was just kind of one in the series of several that they were in the process of doing, but they have a system. So they look online and they look for homes that are vacant. They look for homes that maybe don't have a loan or that they're paid off. And that's why it's such a big deal.
Can I stop you real quick?
Sure.
How do they do that? Is that all
public
accessible?
records?
It's all
It is
public
public
records.
record,
Yeah,
right?
just public records.
How much the person owes on a home, how much they paid for it, is public record.
Yeah.
What about who owns it? Like the title, is that public record?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, everything's public record. So what they did was basically just go on and they would just find homes that kind of match the profile. And that happens a lot in Arizona. We have a lot of part-time residents here. So homes are empty, maybe not lived in all year long. This was a gentleman on this particular home that was in assisted living. He had left with the thought that maybe I'm going to go back one day, get better, get healthy. And it just wasn't happening as quick as he wanted. So these people saw the empty house. They saw that there was no loan on it. It was paid off. Beautiful area, Scottsdale. And then they basically just forged the deed. And then they went to Maricopa County and they recorded it. Now, Maricopa County can't really, look at a deed and track it, or necessarily their job isn't to validate it.
When you say deed, it's title to the home.
Right, exactly.
And I imagine if you do a search, you might be able to find template.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they forged it.
Yeah, they forged it. And, that was kind of one of the things that I noticed. There was just a lot of red flags in this process, but it wasn't the first time that this has happened.
So were you looking for a home? Like, how did you find out about this? How did you get involved in stopping it?
Yeah, so I'm an agent. I'm also an investor, so I buy real estate, I buy homes. So they had called me and said, we need to sell this home fast. And that's why I get these kind of phone calls, is because they're like,
Was that a first red flag for you when they said we got to sell this fast? That word
It
fast?
is. I mean, I work with a lot of people that are in, issues and, they have to get these things resolved quickly. But there was just a lot of other red flags. Like, the lady that called, she said it was a friend of hers that owned it. So then when I said, well, I really need to talk to that person. Yeah. Obviously, this is the big deal. Well, she has social anxiety, so she can't talk on the phone. So I'm going to speak for her. So that was
interesting.
Kind of like, one of those red flags. And then I sent it over to our title company, and then the title company looked at it and they're like, yeah, this isn't right. And so there was a lot of other things that were kind of happening along the way. But, in this process, it kind of opened up this education gap that I was seeing, because I was able to catch it. I was able to recognize it and do it, but a lot of other people aren't.
Because you work in the industry.
Yeah, I work in the industry.
We might not. I mean, we purchased a couple houses, but I wouldn't necessarily know if a title was fake or not.
Yeah.
If a deal is too good to be true or not.
Right. And part of this was seeing it, having it sort of presented to me, and it's like, okay, these are definitely bad people. We got to stop them. And that's why I took the extra step, reached out to the city of Scottsdale Police Department, who had already started a report. But it's kind of like, as a local police department, you're like, somebody says, hey, somebody's stealing my house. They're like, well, there it is. What do you mean?
We have a comment from, I think it's Jennifer22. They should fix this problem. Come on, can't they come up with a system for this? Which is part of why you're here.
Right. So this sort of spawned this whole, because like I said, it wasn't the first time that it happened to me, and other people that I work with, it's happened to them. So it's like, what can we do to fix this? Because there's solutions out there, but there's this big gap in education really toward the professional environment. So when this story aired, the district attorney's office saw it, and then they reached out in turn and reached out to the real estate commissioner and said, hey, reach out to this guy, like just give him a pat on the back, like, nice job, he did something good, which is nice. But when I was talking to the commissioner, I said, hey, I have an idea, like there's a way that we can increase the education on this to really be the front line, like all the title companies and real estate brokers and the agents. So when these sort of fraudulent transactions are going through their motions, there's an education aspect that we can kind of throw this speed bump in right before it gets to the recording. Because that's the trouble with these sort of issues, is these people are getting scammed. They're getting scammed out of their savings, out of their 401ks, their retirement. And then the very last asset they have is the house. Right.
Which is a huge asset.
Yeah, if you didn't catch this, that guy that was going into assisted living might have nothing.
Yeah, because it goes sort of, is it like if I purchased it, I didn't recognize it, then I sold it, and then another buyer goes in. As soon as it goes down.
What if you would have purchased it? Then would it legitimately be yours?
It would be. So that's the issue, is that, let's say I purchased it, and then this gentleman didn't know what was going on or wasn't following up. Let's say I purchased it, and then I sold it to someone else, and then that person moved into it, got a legitimate loan. Well, people are going to be protected. And then when you talk about title insurance kicking in, there's a certain level where if the original person doesn't have title insurance, yes, they could lose it. But on top of that, what's happening is they're going into these houses and they're wiping them out. So taking all the personal possessions and stuff like that, too.
Unbelievable.
So you're meeting with the commissioner, and what suggestions are you offering as far as roadblocks and education and protection?
Yeah, so I presented a concept, and they were so gracious, and they're like, this is exactly what we need, the missing element. Because the reality of when you're trying to fix this, AI is so advanced, and it's generating these amazing sort of, scams that are going out there, and people just they just don't know how to recognize them. So what I proposed was really an education arm, an independent school that would basically go out and teach professionals, and not just real estate agents, but title companies, notaries, senior care facilities, anybody that's around people, even financial planners. So when people are coming to them to try to liquidate assets or to sell, they can maybe ask a question, just, sort of reach out and say, why are you doing this? And if they recognize, because everything follows kind of same patterns. So if they can recognize a pattern, they can say, hey, maybe you better think twice about this. Is there somebody in your family that you can ask, you can reach out to? and share the resources. So really this program is identifying and then sharing the resources that are out there to help them out.
Someone's asking in the chat, is there anything like, I know when it comes to like your credit, you can lock your credit down. You can have kind of monitors on your credit. Is there anything to do that when it comes to your home?
Yeah, good point. So now in Arizona, it's law that every county has the ability to go and file that if anything is recorded in your name, you'll get notice. You'll get a notice that something was recorded in your name, but it's post-fact. So it means that
once it's recorded,
happened,
it's done.
And it goes snail mail.
Right. And that's the problem is it kind of looks like spam if you get this notice, but people don't really know what to do. So that's what I'm trying to do is the initiative. We're telling people what to do.
Wow.
Call your local police.
I've seen commercials. I don't know. I don't want to say the name of the company because I'm not quite sure if it is, but where they
locking abilities.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
where they actually watch your title, like you pay them and they keep an eye on your title. But not everyone has that extra income to pay. I don't know how much they charge, but it's still additional money where you're paying someone to keep an eye on. Like, you wouldn't think that you need someone to keep an eye on the title of your home.
Yeah. So the services, you're right. And it's you can lock your credit, but you can't lock your title. All those companies do is basically the free service that you can do on your own, which is record it. If something happens, you'll get notification. Now, those companies do offer insurance and they offer different programs for you, but that does come at a cost. It is something that you can do on your own, and that's a big education. When all this happened, I was getting phone calls and letters and emails from all over the country, people that were in the middle of something that had just had it happen to them. It's crazy how much is happening. And it's all this AI-fueled technology.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because that's your biggest asset. That's your biggest investment is your home, I think.
Right.
So how do people get a hold of you if they do want a little guidance or information? I know you're not an educator, but you're working on, and maybe you can put them in touch with someone.
Yeah, so we have a site called homefrauddefense.org.
Okay.
So they can go on there, and it's great because it's just got all these resources, all these sort of things that we've learned, and it's been great. Consumer feedback's been great. So we've added all these things to the website so they can go on there and get tons of free resources.
Awesome. Thank you for coming and thanks for what you're doing.
Interesting story.
Yeah, very.
We'll have to
Thank
have
you.
Come back and keep us updated because it's a wild story.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more Foxton Talks.
Dangerous. You can't take it.
All right, welcome back.
Hi.
Anita's having an offside conversation. Focus up, girl. We still
That
got
was
show to
really
do.
interesting, that last interview.
Wasn't it?
Because I feel like we're getting a lot of, people commenting and stuff, but you would never think that someone can just sneak in there
And try and steal your house.
in your house.
Yeah.
How?
Wild.
Like, we know they can steal your car out of your driveway, but your house?
Wild.
Very.
All right, switching gears, though, I want to bring in our friend to the show, Kari over at ASU Gammage. Good morning, Kari.
Morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Anita,
Year.
my favorite time.
Good
We
to
love
see
seeing you.
We thought we'd bring you on because you guys have some really fun stuff coming up for this new year over at ASU Gammage. How much fun is this for you to start a new season?
Well, so the season begins in the fall. We kind of run that academic year. So we've already gone through 4 shows, but we do have 6 more to go. So yes, we've got a lot to pack in there before the next season starts in the fall. So, and it starts off with So Good, So Good. The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise. That's opening on January 27th at ASU Gammage. And, this was created in collaboration with Neil Diamond himself. It tells the true story of how a kid from Brooklyn became an American rock icon. His music. I mean, the show is going to be packed with favorites, Sweet Caroline, Cracklin' Rose, America, Forever in Blue Jeans. I got the chance to see this in New York, and it's really a wonderful show.
That is going to be a fun one.
And it looks like a lot of people in the audience get to sing along, too, which is always a good time, that audience participation.
Right. Especially right there at the end. It feels like a little mini concert with Neil.
Yeah.
How fun. All right. Next, we have Clue Live. Now, I love the movie Clue as a kid.
I like the game, right? It was a game.
Well, yeah. So it's our first play of the Broadway touring season, and it's coming February 17th through the 22nd. Now, it's based on the fan favorite movie, like you said, and the classic board game. Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the library.
Yeah, we see him
that's
there.
That's not it. But, there's slapstick farce, there's lighthearted murder mystery, and fast-paced physical humor. It's going to be fun.
I love that.
For a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I saw this one
Next
on Broadway,
we have-
and this was fun. 6, the musical.
Oh, divorce, beheaded, died. These are the survived wives of Henry VIII. They're taking the microphone. It's kind of like you turn them from Tudor queens into pop icons. It's just a big celebration, real concert feel, big energy. Audience, you really feel it from the audience.
Oh,
I feel it just from watching that clip.
All right, this one, if you want a good cry, Kari, you might want to sign up to go see this.
I know.
We
So
got the
now
wrong...
you might be familiar with this book or the iconic film, but this is a powerful love story. It's so deeply moving. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and you might need some tissue.
No, I can't watch that. I'll cry the whole time.
Yeah,
no.
Anita, you're not allowed to go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
No.
just beautiful. Right.
That's a good girls' night out.
Yes, but also couples.
Yeah,
it's such a
romantic.
generational story. You really get a feel for this love story from them becoming young lovers to growing old together. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get the clamp just thinking about it right now.
I have the chills right now. I have the chills. Oh, it's such a good movie. You guys have to read the book first, go watch the movie, and then go to see the play.
There you go.
Yeah, I have goosebumps just looking at the video.
Oh, it's
again.
so good.
All right, I don't want you guys to cry, so we'll move it on. This one looks like a fun one. Hell's
So we're going to move into something with a lot of energy. Hell's Kitchen is Broadway's hit musical from Alicia Keys. That's coming April 26th through May 3rd. This is the music is a mix of Keys' greatest hits and some new songs that she's written exclusively for the show. And it's about a 17-year-old girl named Allie. It's a story of finding yourself, your purpose, who you lift up, manifesting your dreams. The choreography off the charts. Camille A. Brown is a famous award-winning Tony-nominated choreographer. She's been to ASU Gammage many times. So the choreography is out of this world, too.
How cool.
Again, another high-energy show.
Yeah.
I have to say that I've been to Gammage several times to see different shows, Chicago being one of them, which I absolutely loved. But there's not a bad seat in the house. It's a great theater.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We, Frank Lloyd Wright, iconic, historic building. He he really understood the dynamic of the theater and making it feel intimate. And now you're looking at Beauty and the Beast. This is going to end our season. Disney's Beauty and the Beast. That's coming June 24th. And, tale as old as time. This is breathtaking. Think of romance and the grandeur and, what audiences love about a Disney musical.
I know, Kari, as we wrap up, you guys have, because we have a number of people in the newsroom who belong, they subscribe?
The season ticket.
The season ticket holder. Can you still do that?
No, right now, season subscriptions usually end in that fall area. Okay. Now you can get single tickets. Okay. That's what this is about now. However, we're always moving and thinking about the next season. So we'll announce the next season, March 2nd for 26-27. Okay. And that's where you get that great value where you can become a season subscriber and get all of these shows for the one price.
I've just put you in the calendar for March 2nd in person. You're going to come in and we're going to talk about the new season.
I can't tell you now, but
that's okay.
Some good stuff.
March 2nd. Thank you.
Kari, it was great to see you.
ASUGammage.com. Yes, you can see all of these shows the rest of the season.
Love it. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, very important topic. Hello, doctor.
We have Dr. Matthew Boliaux. He is with Banner Health, and we're talking about our favorite topic.
Sleep. Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. How many people come to you and say, I can't sleep?
Believe it or not, almost all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess you're. Can you look a little bit closer, Matt?
Sure.
Dr. Matt, I apologize.
There are trends every year, right? Like one year, it's like, take more magnesium, take melatonin. No, melatonin's bad for you. Take this, no, take that. What's going on this year so far?
Well, I think sleep hygiene is the really important topic this year. So the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, they try to keep up with the current times. And, the most important thing that they emphasize is good sleep hygiene. And I can go into more detail about that if you'd like.
What that is. What is
I want you to know that you sound like a doctor.
Yeah. She's got a good voice.
You do. You have that good delivery. I would listen to you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, perfect. Okay. So sleep hygiene, there are many different tenets of it. I would say one of the most important is ensuring that you get an adequate amount of sleep. And that can look different for different people, right? Everyone has a dynamic schedule. Different people wake up at different times. So trying to get 7 hours of sleep as an adult is important, right? So setting an awakening time is easy. We all have deadlines. We need to get to work at a certain point. So march back with math to see when the time is that you would need to go to bed and try to fit your schedule around that time. The important thing about bedtime is that it can change, right?
Sure.
So when you go to bed, make sure that you are physiologically ready to go to sleep. It's not, this is my bedtime, and therefore I just have to go to bed.
Go lay down. I don't know about you, but I need that unwind period. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like when I get home from work, we go for a walk. I might putz around and do a couple of things. And then I need to sit down and read a book and just mentally check out.
100%. And have you ever heard of the 3-2-1 rule?
No.
So the idea is that you take 3 hours before bed, you don't eat within that time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
2 hours before bed, try not to exercise. And then 1 hour before bed, you unwind, right? And so the idea is that if you give yourself that time to kind of prepare for sleep, you stay away from screens, right? You go through your little rituals, if it's skincare, if it's showering, whatever it might be, walking your dogs, talking with your partner, reading a book. These things will help entrain your mind that it's becoming bedtime. Keep the lights dim, bright fluorescence. Our brains think that this might, be akin to the sun. So if we're surrounded by this indoors all day and we're not seeing that the light's going down outside, that melatonin, the sleep molecule, doesn't have time to release, and that can shift our sleep later in the day.
What do you think about, I have started sleeping with my Apple Watch because I love to track my sleep.
Yeah.
But also I get anxiety when I look at my watch and it says you got
5 hours.
You got some bad sleep.
Yeah.
So what do you as a doctor?
Because it rates the type of sleep you get, right?
It tells
it's not
you exactly
just
what was going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have a bad day just by looking at my watch.
Right. And it kind of sets you up. It predisposes you to poor sleep the next day.
I got a 96 last night. So I'm not to brag, but I did real good last night.
Congratulations.
I don't know what that means, but wow.
That was good. Out of 100, yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the Apple Watch, the Oura Ring, these are pretty common things. The Fitbit, the Garmin. I hear this a lot from patients in clinic, and they'll say, "Oh, look at how bad my sleep was the night before." These are imperfect measures, but they're okay, right? They do a pretty decent job. The thing that I would emphasize is don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? And so You are trying to get good sleep. Perfect sleep is unattainable, right? So if you look at your watch and you say last night was a bad night, try to think why that might be, right? Am I stressed about a big meeting the next day? Do I have an important interview? Am I afraid about a doctor's appointment? You know, we are mostly
Stewie
cool
barking
people.
all night.
Yeah, my dog.
How do you stay asleep? Great that we need 7 hours. Okay, we have that goal. I'm up every 2 hours. It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. It doesn't matter if I nap during the day, if I don't nap. I am up at 8, 10, and midnight.
Yeah, and I'm very sorry.
Me too.
You know, it's a good question. There are two forms of insomnia, and there are many other underlying like subclasses. But essentially, there's onset, which takes a little bit to fall asleep. I lay in bed, my mind is awake. Then there's maintenance, which you describe, waking up throughout the night. And this can come from a litany of causes, right? Part of it could be what we call psychosocial insomnia, which means the things that are going on in my life, the stressors that exist, the stressors that exist, right? Some of the things that we just talked about, like a big meeting. Another thing could be a problem that I suffer from, which is having my dogs in the bed, right? My dogs kick, they get up, they adjust, they wake me up. Maybe your partner snores. Maybe, you know, you have to go to the bathroom. And these are things that can wake us up. It fractures our sleep. And then as this occurs over and over, it entrains our mind that, well, when we go to bed, we just wake up throughout the night. And so it's, again, a vicious cycle that kind of continues.
Yeah. Go ahead.
2 minutes. Any supplements that you would recommend?
Just ask.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would start with subjective benefit is kind of the enemy of good recommendations, right? So I'll have patients that come in and they say they take magnesium and it works really well for them. Things like melatonin, which is a supplement, right? So FDA does not regulate this. For insomnia on its own, medication is not the first line. It's actually, believe it or not, it's cognitive behavioral therapy or finding the underlying maybe physiologic cause, such as sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome. There are many different sleep issues that can wake you up throughout the night, but we can't really know why because you're asleep.
Yeah. Does a cup of warm milk really work?
It can, yeah. Some people drink chamomile tea, and this kind of comes back to that ritual. Whatever works best for you.
Yeah.
We've got about a minute left, but I was going to ask you, when do you need to see a doctor? When your sleep is kind of quote unquote out of control?
Yeah. That's a wonderful question. I would say it's never too early to see a sleep doctor because it could be, you know, as easy as getting a sleep test. There are some things that, you know, the public may not know that may predispose you to things like sleep apnea, restless leg, like we talked about. Obviously, if you have severe concerns immediately, but always talk to your primary care about your sleep. We trust our professionals out in the community to help refer.
And how do people get a hold of you?
I work at Banner University. You're welcome to call the Banner Sleep Center at any time. I'd love to hear from you.
And ask for Dr. Boliaux. Thank you.
That was awesome.
I wish you a lot of good sleep tonight.
Thank you. You as well.
And me too. And you as well.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, we're going to keep things rolling. We've got Syleste and Des. Or
No, Danielle and Des.
I don't know. Someone else is coming.
Someone else is coming in.
I'm out.
Good morning, and thanks for staying with us. It is now 11:30, you guys. I see some laughing emojis there in the chat. Ty and Anita must have been
they must
real
have been
funny this last
joking
half
around.
hour.
I think they were talking about sleep, right?
Yes.
Which we're all here on the morning show delusional.
We all need more of.
And,
Never get enough. Yep. A beautiful shot, though, of downtown Phoenix this morning. It was a bit chilly this morning. It was nice to have those kind of cool temperatures hanging around a little bit.
Yeah, we start in the field at 4:30 in the morning, and I have to say, when that sun is down and it's that early in the morning.
Cold.
Yikes. But Crystal said that we're going to have a warmer week.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
So we'll get a little bit warmer at the 4:30 mark.
Yes. So good morning and welcome in. It's Danielle and I, as you heard. Ron is off this week, so we're glad to have you.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And you still have your jacket.
You know, if it's below 70, I'm done for.
Yeah.
So, and you know what's funny though, now that I realize that Ron's not here, because Ron is the king of, it's kind of hot in here.
I know.
And then the AC goes way
I love this.
and we're freezing cold in here, so I come prepared.
Yes.
But
well,
it's much warmer in here with you guys.
It is. We're under the lights. And you guys, we have a special guest for you this morning. We have the newly appointed Vice Mayor for the city of Phoenix, Keisha Hodge Washington. Thank you so much for joining us today. We were so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's actually my first interview as Vice Mayor.
Oh,
so
very cool.
Pretty cool.
And we showed your beautiful
me
city.
nervous. You didn't tell me that out there.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. You have, just looking at your resume and reading up on you today, you are just so impressive. Not only elected vice mayor at the start of this year, but you were also the first African-American woman elected to the city council in the city of Phoenix. And that was just in 2003. When I read that, kind of shocked to still, see that fact exist. But as you enter into this new role, what are your hopes as vice mayor? And let's start with the responsibilities of that position.
Well, thank you for having me. As you mentioned, I was sworn in 2023. So to be sitting here less than 3 years later, as being selected by my colleagues as the vice mayor, it is definitely an honor. And I'm very grateful for the responsibility and the confidence that my colleagues have seen in me and decided to give me this role. To me, this role is more than about titles. It's about the responsibility. I view it as the opportunity to help move the city forward, be that consensus builder, support the mayor, do all the things that continue to ensure that Phoenix continues to be a city where we are moving in the right direction, and it's a city where all of our residents feel seen, heard, and believe that this is the best place for them.
And your job title, maybe just describe some of the differences between, being the mayor, being the vice mayor, what is Mayor Kate Gallego in charge of? What exactly are you in charge of? And then also kind of just what happens throughout your tenure.
Okay, if I do it like that, you're going to make the vice mayor role feel not as flashy.
Oh, no way.
But the mayor's role primarily, she sets the agenda, she sets the committee assignments for the members of council. She is the voice of our city. She's the one that articulates our positions. As the vice mayor, I stand in her absence. So I will preside over a meeting if the mayor is absent. I speak when the mayor is unable to speak. I get to be kind of like second in command as the vice mayor. So.
Okay. Exciting. And I was also reading, so you're from originally the Virgin Islands. You came to Phoenix in 1999. So you've been here a long time. This is, now home, a graduate of ASU Law School.
Go Sun Devils.
Yes, go Devils.
There
right?
you go. Yep.
So you know this city well. And one of the issues that you want to address this year is housing, access to housing and access to affordable housing. How do you plan on doing that this year?
Well, there's a couple of ways. So as mentioned, housing is a very important issue. Housing affordability and housing stability is one of the key issues that we hear from our residents right now. One of the side effects of growth is sometimes when you have limited supply and a large demand, you see price increase. So what we're doing is trying to fix that imbalance of demand and supply. We are working on increasing the supply of housing here in our community. And we've been doing a great job. Just alone in District 8, last year, we increased the number of affordable housing itself, not considering other units. We added almost 300 new affordable units. So that means 300 families now have access to rents that are within the affordable range.
And we were talking, and that doesn't mean low-income housing. It means housing for
correct.
What type of professionals?
It means housing for your teachers, for your restaurant work servers, for those individuals that work in our public service. It means access for the everyday city employee to be able to work in the city that they have spent so much time serving. So housing has been an important issue for me. And one of the things I would like to see move forward is we passed our Phoenix Housing Trust Fund. And that is a tool in which we will use to provide financial incentives to create the type of housing that we want to see in our community. And what I want to see this year for us is that we come up with a permanent, stable funding basis for that fund.
And that creates more supply.
Yes, that helps us create more supply to be able to build more units. And one of the things that I also wanted to make sure that it does is that we're not just a city, we won't become just a city of renters, but there are also opportunities for home ownership as well as part of the Housing Trust Fund. One of the great things about the city of Phoenix is there were opportunities for individuals to actually own their home. And we want to continue to foster that pride of home ownership for our residents. So that's just one of the issues I want to continue to work on.
And then Des, do we have time for another question? Or
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, outside of housing, what other issues is Phoenix, the city of Phoenix, facing right now? Or what are some of the biggest things that you want to tackle in your leadership role now?
The other thing I want to work on is economic development is a very key important part for me. I believe that as we all know, Phoenix is now known as maybe the semiconductor hub here in the country. And what I would like to see as we continue to expand our opportunities, not just in the biosciences, the semiconductor, life sciences, that we're ensuring that those opportunities are not centralized in any one part of our city, that every zip code within the city of Phoenix has access to economic opportunities so that families are able to be supportive. We are able to provide the necessary level of amenities in those communities, and the quality of life for all residents remain equal throughout the city.
And then I know another area of focus as well is ensuring community safety. We know that Phoenix Police right now is short some officers. Can you give us an update on what their numbers look like, and what other ways outside of just officers do we make our communities safe?
That's a great question. We are short a number of officers, depending on who you ask, it's about 1,000 officers in round numbers. But we have been doing, I think, an excellent job of recruiting. We have seen increase in the number of individuals that want to be Phoenix officers. Mm-hmm. We are seeing larger and larger class sizes. And we are also, in terms of ensuring that we continue to advocate for community safety, we are shifting some of the responsibilities from our law enforcement over to civilian positions to ensure those needs are met. We are also sampling new technology, such as we're using artificial intelligence in the answering of non-emergency phone calls. So we are definitely trying to make up for this shortage while continuing to invest to ensure that the individuals or the resources are going to be there long term. And I think the number one component of community safety is making sure that our community feels empowered and engaged. So we continue to have quite a bit of business alliances and community alliance, the neighborhood groups, which serve as our eyes and ears in our communities. And they identify the issues and also help us identify how the solution should be crafted.
Perfect. Well, you have a lot on your plate for next year. Holy. Oh, yeah. You certainly have the resume to get it done. And we wish you the best. And we're just so glad that you joined us this morning.
And how do people find out more information about you? Or can they communicate with you, website, or how do we communicate?
Yes, and you still represent your district.
Yes, right. I still represent my district. So all of my information is still linked to that. So it's PHX District 8, the number 8. And that is the best way. You can find us on social media. You can find us on our website. And I do my best to be very active and around, so you never know where I may pop up.
Awesome.
So.
Perfect. Well, so nice thank you. And congratulations.
Thank you so much for the time this morning.
Yeah,
of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it is now 11:39, you guys. And this is our next guest, Eric Wilson from TMZ. Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
Good. Well, I love your shirt today.
Oh, thank you. I went plain basic today. Nothing crazy.
You went basic boy.
Yeah, you can't say that. Come on. I think on the stream you can say it, actually, right. But we'll refrain just in case.
Well, let's jump right in, Eric. Big night, Golden Globes, host Nikki Glaser on stage. What were the big highlights from the night?
Yeah, it was, I feel like comparatively to other years, it's kind of a low, not a lot of drama, but it was a nice, quiet, subdued night. Nikki Glaser did great. She's a great host for all these award shows. I'm glad we finally realized that and are putting her in front of these audiences more often. She paid tribute to Rob Reiner, of course. She wore a Spinal Tap hat at the end of the night. And then some of the big winners, Timothée Chalamet walking away with Best Actor from Marty Supreme. He also walked away with Kylie Jenner, who looked gorgeous in a gold dress. They attended together. They were showing some PDA for the folks at home. And then, Leo's movie, One Battle After Another, also won Best Director and Best Picture. Looks like that will go into awards season, picking up a lot of awards as well. So.
Okay, well, we have like 2 minutes left with you.
Yeah.
But what about the big moment of the night? Kylie Jenner, Timothée Chalamet, like sucking face? Basically,
it wasn't the big moment. It was all night, it seemed. And it seems like they're not afraid. At the end of last year, maybe earlier this summer, inside of each other's world.
Yeah.
And now she's more front-facing. They're at these award ceremonies.
Yeah,
they're doing PDA. There's no hiding it. He's thanking her on stage, calling her his partner and everything like that. So, yeah, this seems to be, it's 3 years now. It seems to be going really strong.
I can't believe it's
Commented
been
on
that
her
long.
Instagram. It's official.
Yeah, you can't go. It's once you've gone to the Golden Globes, been in an acceptance speech, you got to stay together forever. That's how it works in Hollywood, right?
She looked incredible last night.
Yeah.
Oh, when doesn't she?
My
Yeah.
gosh. I think that was like
It's
one of
true.
my favorite looks I've ever seen. Her.
Yeah, she looks good.
Like with the diamonds on her arms.
Eric is like, oh yes, I loved it. But Eric, what was your
Look, it was fine. Yeah, it was great.
He's like, yeah, look at me.
she doesn't. It's interesting that she doesn't walk the red carpet with him. She's in the room with him, but the last time I think they walked the red carpet together was an award ceremony in Italy last summer. It's like she meets him in the room. She gives him his moment on the carpet and then meets him in the room.
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
I wonder when that will change.
Herself,
Yeah.
but it's almost like she doesn't want to take away the attention from him.
Yeah. But either way, she's going to. With when you dress like that, so.
All right, we've got about 20 seconds left. Your favorite moment of the night before we let you go.
I think Timothy finally winning. This is shaping up to possibly be a One Battle After Another, getting Best Picture, Best Director, but he may sneak in and walk away with the actor award and beat out his mentor, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, there you have it. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Have a great day. All right, you guys, we are throwing up the mystery camera right now. We are sending you off to a break. Get your guesses in.
That looks like somewhere that's a
All right, welcome back, you guys. So there are a few folks, Danielle, in the chat getting their guesses in on this mystery cam.
Yeah, I see Oregon, Indiana, Missouri, Oklahoma. Yeah, I was kind of going for an Oklahoma vibe.
Yeah.
Or somewhere Midwest, maybe.
You said that this felt like Dateline vibes, too.
I know. I don't want to offend anybody who lives there, but it just looks like one of those shots that, they have the reenactment. I can hear Keith Morrison right now.
Coming
on the
down
screen.
the street on this clear day.
So I don't know. Maybe somewhere Midwest. What do you think?
Yeah. You know what? I'm never good at guessing any of these. I am
somewhere
just
flat.
I know.
There's no mountains.
Be Kind Forever is thinking Oregon. I'll go with you today.
There you go.
I don't know.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So do I open this now?
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I'm new here, so.
So
All right.
Danielle has
open it up.
The answer here.
Quincy, Illinois.
Oh.
So we had. Oh, I don't think we had any Illinois.
No.
Nope.
No. All right, you guys. No winners today. Have you ever been there? I've never been there.
No, I've only been to Chicago, Illinois. That's
Looks
it.
nice. Still probably chilly, though.
It does, yeah.
All right.
No doubt.
Okay. Better luck tomorrow.
Better luck to all of us.
Don't play the lotto today, anybody.
Yeah, no. Nope.
All right, we have another guest. Our show is just packed today.
I know, we're getting through it here.
Yes, guest number 3 right now. We have Lauren Clifford joining us from Lending Tree's Consumer Finance. You're an expert with Lending Tree. Lauren, thank you for joining us today. We are talking about the post-holiday retail slowdown. What is that?
It's a great question. So we here at Lending Tree analyzed what happens between December and January in terms of retail spending. And we found that it drops by an average of 22.4% between December and January, and has since 1992. So we looked at data from 1992 to 2025, and there's a significant drop in retail spending.
And Lauren, do you think that's because, obviously everybody's so burnt out on the holidays and all that shopping. And then is there any indication on when it picks back up? So after January, when does shopping kind of come back where people are like, okay, I need to go shopping again?
That's a really great question. We don't have data right now on when it exactly picks back up, but I can get back to you on that. But in terms of the why, for those of us who were alive in the 90s, we remember what it was like to have to physically go in a store to get whatever we wanted. And sites like Amazon and other online retailers have made it so much easier to just order something and get it right away. So I think in addition to the being sick of being in stores, you don't even have to go to a store now to get what you want. And so we're now seeing less significant declines in spending than we did in the 90s.
And you guys look at this and how it affects the country, and we're seeing the slowdown happening in the South. Why is that? Why the South?
That's a great question. And one of the reasons that we think it could be so significant in the South is because there's a really large portion of businesses down there that are retail. So in terms of consumer businesses or businesses at large, a large proportion of businesses are retail in the South. So we might be seeing some more significant declines in the South because of that.
Yeah, and we had a comment here on our chat. Little Philosophy says Valentine's Day. Maybe that's when things pick up.
Oh,
hopefully.
Yeah, the next kind of holiday.
It's Valentine's Day. You got your gifts going and chocolates and roses.
Now, Lauren, and I don't know, maybe there is no correlation here, but I was just talking with my sister the other day, and she used Affirm for the first time, kind of like that buy now, pay later. That's, you kind of see on everywhere. Like when you check out on Amazon now, it gives you the option, or, when you're shopping online, it gives you that option. Has that had an impact in any of these trends that you're seeing?
Absolutely. We have done a separate study where we analyzed the holiday spending in recent years, and buy now, pay later is taking up a significant share of how people are paying for gifts that they can't pay for upfront, whereas they used to still primarily use credit cards, but it used to take up a larger portion of how people were paying for goods that they couldn't pay for entirely up front, we're seeing a big spike in buy now, pay later loans.
Okay. Any buyer beware with like an option like that?
Absolutely. They can be a really smart way to pay for gifts, but you have to know that you can afford the payments. So you can get an interest-free loan that way, but if you don't have a plan in your budget, if you don't know that your next paycheck is going to be able to cover that expense, then you should really be beware of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Awesome. Yeah, very interesting. Put your pocketbooks away for now.
Yeah, save for Valentine's Day.
Until Valentine's Day. Yeah, there you go.
Lauren, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. We appreciate your time. All right. So 11:51 now. Our next guest.
Yes.
He's here. He's ready.
It's very
Always.
exciting.
Oh, when you hear him, who do we got?
Always ready. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Talking sports.
I'm good, but real quick, Quincy, Illinois. You guys came out of the break with that?
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you want to take a look?
Did you work there?
Corey McCloskey
He's from there?
This is home?
worked his first job,
Oh.
WGEM,
Look at you.
in Quincy. And I knew when I heard that, I was like, I think Corey's from there.
Okay.
Interesting.
So he was there in 19. We won't age Corey, but yeah, that's where he's from.
There you
Look
go.
at you.
Corey's old stomping ground.
Exactly.
With your knowledge.
Yeah, and then you with the Dateline reference. We watch Dateline all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You like Keith Morrison, and I know we're going to talk about Sam Levitt, and you might ask, but why?
I know.
Like Keith Morrison.
There
That's
you
what he
go.
does. But why? It's always but why.
But why?
Yeah.
You got to know why. Yeah, I mean, Sam Levitt obviously has been in the news for so long, and it kind of stinks. I mean, from a Sun Devil fan here, we watch them go from
Sun Devil fan.
hardcore football. Yeah, so they went from nothing, and then we had this Cinderella story season, and then I have to say this last season, it was just so weird for the fans. I mean, you guys are so connected with sports, and it was just so weird. I mean, we had our golden boy, Sam Levitt, then all of a sudden he's hurt, he's not playing, and then he's out, and there's surgery, and now he's traded, not at the banquet. I mean, it has been a roller coaster.
The problem in covering Phoenix sports, as long as like Richard and I have been for over 20 years, is whenever there's expectations, that's when things seem to go bad. When there's not expectations, you have that Cinderella year. But yeah, Sam was supposed to come in this year and be maybe a Heisman dark horse quarterback, but he did have a lot of injuries. And early on in the year, even in the NAU game, he got hit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have Cam Scattaboo, so now you don't have the guy that can take the pressure off him. But his connection with Jordan Tyson was tremendous. Then Jordan Tyson gets hurt. So they were really nicked up all year. But then you see they still win 8 games, even with Jeff Sims at quarterback, he's a decent quarterback. But that just goes to show you that Kenny Dillingham is kind of the straw that stirs the drink. And coming into next year, I think Sun Devil fans are going to be fine at quarterback.
Okay.
They're bringing in 3 top flight wide receivers from the transfer portal. And this is how college football is now.
Yeah.
Guys are going to come and go, and it's tough to get connected like that.
Well, we get
It's
so
like-
emotional.
Right. It's like a relationship that's a fast one that you fall deep real quick, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I don't love you anymore. I'm going to go
But it's still
over
a good
here.
program. I mean, what an amazing coach really to play for. What do you think was the deciding factor here for Levitt? I mean, if you have an O-line that's allowing you to get beat up and you have dreams of playing in the NFL, in a way, kind of understandable.
I think there's 2 things. I think you look at like what Jaden Daniels did. Left ASU, went to LSU, won the Heisman, top 5 pick in the draft. Now he's got a great career. I think what Sam Levitt's looking at is Jordan Tyson's going to the NFL. It's going to be a lot of new players, probably a little bit tweaking of the system. I can go to LSU with ready-made NFL players already on the roster. All they need to do is plug me in at quarterback. I can have a tremendous year with all kinds of support. Lane Kiffin's the coach there now. They're going to be really, really good, and he's going to be on national TV almost every week.
Is he going to be a starter? Is he looking at that?
He's coming off his injury, but right now he's the number 1 quarterback that they have in Lane Kiffin's class. He was like the number 1 transfer portal guy out there. So I think once he's healthy, he will be. But, I could see him just being maybe not necessarily in the Heisman running, but he's going to be a high-profile guy that is going to lead LSU to hopefully a national championship for them. And I know people have a love-hate relationship with Sam because of how it went down.
Yeah.
And
I mean, regardless, it's up to his talent. I was going to ask you, too. I mean, what do you see? I think football state by state, by region, is just so different. Do you think he's going to be able to keep up with an LSU, with the big, those heavy hitter schools?
So I look at Kenny Dillingham and like his track record with quarterbacks, and I look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix is the quarterback of the Broncos. He's very similar in his athleticism, the way he plays. And so he's that kind of quarterback, but he's a smart kid. He's very athletic, he has a great arm, and he understands the game. So I think if you put him in the right system, he'll survive. And that's what you need nowadays in football is you need the dual threat quarterback, the one that can run and pass, and he's got both. So I think Sam, you put him anywhere, he'll be fine.
And understand the system. That's got a lot to do with it,
absolutely.
too. I mean, your intellect, your ability to bond with the team. And, I mean, the QB keeps the team together.
And there's a lot of luck involved, too, because if you think about, like, all these great quarterbacks that have come out of college, like, look at Matt Leinart. When the Cardinals drafted him, you're like, Matt Leinart, Heisman Trophy winner, USC, it's great. He ended up on the Cardinals. Organizationally, it didn't work, and his career didn't pan out. So it's a lot of luck, and in this whole world of the portal and everything and NIL, it's like it was almost like musical chairs, and he's like the last one to sit. So that's what it feels like. But I think. And
how's his health? What's an update on that right now?
I don't have an update on that. I think he's still coming back from the ankle and the injury and being banged up. But again, I think you could see it coming where he took a lot of hits early in the year.
And see, that's what people I think were confused about. We didn't see a big bang. And, he's injured now. He has to get surgery. I think it was all of the wear and tear. And so us fans were like, hey, I mean, he didn't get hurt.
No, and he did try to come back, to his credit. And I think that's, again, what you need to take into consideration is he wanted to be out there. It's not like he just said, no, I'm quitting on this team.
Yeah. So, minute left here. Question in the chat for Mark from Husky Mom. When are we getting rid of Kyler? I think she's obviously talking about
this offseason. Unless the Cardinals hire a coach that says, I want him here and I'll keep him here, I don't see him staying with the team this year. I think they'll try to trade him. I think teams know they want to trade him and won't offer much. So you'll either get a really low ball offer or they'll have to cut him. But I think it's
going to take their loss, though, right? I mean, financially.
And you got to pay. Just like you got to pay coaches when you don't. Yeah.
Kyler. All right. Well, it was a fun weekend for football.
It was
wild card weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're happy with the Bills.
Heck yeah, Victory Monday for me. All is good, baby.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
Although I was like screaming, and you know how it is.
Well, you got Josh Allen, so you're in good shape.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, when he ran that touchdown in, I was like, there you go. That's the Josh we love to see.
That's
We're running out. See you later, Mark.
See you guys.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun show. We'll throw the mystery cam back up for you guys. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.